Hello and welcome to another update video about Quant. Today I'd like to start actually with the 4-day chart here, just to highlight to you also some of the possible all-time high targets which are here on the radar and which are possible looking at this chart. First of all, let's take a step back. Where do we actually come from? The view is here. The assumption is that Quant topped in 5 waves in September 21. That was a wave 1. We then came down in an ABC pattern in a wave 2, bottomed out here around $40, basically where the 88.7% FIB level is sitting. And we are now moving up in a wave 3. The question is, where is that wave 3 going to take us? Because this wave 3 would take us to a new all-time high. Not in one straight line. It would look more like a 5-wave structure, of course, sort of more like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? So we definitely would need to move above the previous wave 1, and we can now make an assumption where it will go based on the assumption that the low was already in. So let's take a look. Target for such a wave 3 would be usually at least the 1.618 Fibonacci extension, which is here around $730. So if you think you missed the boat, think again. Okay. Long term, the current prices are attractive, in my opinion. Yeah. And again, I'm not telling you what to do, but giving the long term view, there is certainly some decent profit in here. And the chart is one of the best looking ones out there at the moment as well. So this is sort of the long term target. Now, I can't tell you when that will be reached. It could go fairly quickly. If we're honest, the last all-time high was reached within, I think, a couple of months. So topping out here. Yeah. So, let's see. Time-wise, we never know. But price levels can be forecasted fairly accurately. Also, looking at the 4-day chart, we can see that the MACD is still moving higher. So further upside is expected here generally, and the RSI still has some space before we get into the overbought range on the 4-day chart. Looking at the weekly chart, similar story here. We are still moving up. We actually had a buy signal here recently with a cross above the 0 line on the MACD, and the RSI is in a bullish crossover situation on the weekly. Now, if we go back to the 4-hour chart, sort of more the imminent price action here, just to follow up from the last video, the view is obviously still that we're here in this 5-wave pattern to the upside. We created the first wave to the upside. We created the wave 2 and reached our target area and reversed from here and are moving now up in the wave 3 in green. Yeah, so don't mix these up. This here is only the 3rd wave, probably, of the first wave of the larger 3rd wave, which will eventually take us to 700 plus. So you've got the concept of fractals in Elliott wave, which means that each of these waves, an impulse, will be subdividing into 5 waves, and a corrective wave pattern most likely into 3 waves, which means, you're also on the lower time frame here. You have these 5-wave structures, impulses, and then that are followed by corrective waves, which are followed by impulses. So this means that we're here on the lower time frame also in this situation where we're breaking out. We created the first one, wave 1, breakout structure, then here a wave 2, and now we're in this 3rd wave, which again is subdividing into 5 waves. So here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, which will lead to the wave 3. Wave 3 target in green would be pretty much around the $235 level roughly, okay? The 1.618 extension. Which means also here we're fairly early, but it's a 5-wave structure, so oops, I think I just took those out, didn't I? So we're looking at something like this, okay? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This wave 1 is, in my opinion, nearly done, because we have already got wave 1, wave 2, wave 3, wave 4, and we are getting ready to fill wave 5 targets here. Yeah? Target area for wave 5 is between $151 and $167. That's based on several ways of how targets can be measured based on the Elliott wave method. But I mentioned in the last video as well, be careful, because in the whole history here, recent history, Quant, with the exception of one target area here, Quant always only touched these target areas, yeah, and here, down here as well, and here we missed it by $2 or $3. So it might mean that we only get to the $150 level and turn down already. So we are very much, in my opinion, at the end of this 5-wave structure, which would be followed by a wave 2 to the downside. This is the area where I will scale in again, currently located between $101 and $120. This might move a little bit depending on how high we're really coming. Of course, you know, you've got the trend line here, so we're probably going to follow it. So the trend is your friend until the end. But when we break this trend line, that will be a first signal we're coming down. Further confirmation will be obtained as soon as we break below the $127 level, the break of the wave 4 low. And that's where we are. So further upside expected in the short term, into the area between 151 and 167. Be aware we might not quite reach it based on what Quant did here recently. Only really touched many of these areas. But yeah, generally the trend line is here to give you a guide. As soon as that's broken, we're probably coming down into this region here between $101 and $120 before we will reverse to the upside in a wave 3. That's sort of my view. This is where I will scale in. Okay, and that's my update about Quant. So hopefully you liked the update. If you did, please hit the like button, leave a comment and subscribe. And if you really like the content, please check out the channel membership. Thanks a lot for watching. Bye bye.